Hi. Oh, hey, it's better, isn't it? Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, with a cup of tea. Anyway, hope you're all well. Thank you for being here with me this Sunday evening. If you're watching it live, I'm going to be talking about quite a few things tonight. Some updates. I'll be talking. I'll be talking in the beginning about this Nicola Bulley docuseries that I'm going to make, and I've got quite excited about it now. It's coming into a concrete sort of idea in my head. I'll be giving you updates on Samantha Murphy, or at least an update on the police silence about Samantha Murphy, and as much as I can tell you that I've tried to find out. Also, we'll be talking about Rachel Morin again. I've found some more footage, more information about Rachel Morin, who's the missing lady in Maryland, who we've just recently had the photo fit come through from her murderer, and so we'll be talking about that. And then at the end, we'll be talking about something a little bit lighter to put us all in a better mood before we go to bed. So we're going to be talking about quite a few different things. And then what I will be doing is splitting this live, because I know there's a lot of you out there like the lives, and there's a lot of you out there that don't like the lives. You prefer just a straightforward video. And so I'll be sort of chopping the live up, if you like, into the different parts of what I'm going to be talking about, so people, and then just uploading those videos individually. So hopefully try and keep everyone happy. I always try and keep everyone happy. I always fail. I know I've given up trying to keep everybody happy, but but anyway, thank you, all of you that watch my videos, like my videos, all of you that are subscribed, all of you especially that are members or support my channel, you send me supers or buy me coffees or all those kind of things. So thank you so much, and thank you for all your emails, of course, which I always receive a lot of emails. I can't always reply. I always try and reply, even if it's only a brief reply, because I appreciate you've taken the time out of your day to write to me for whatever reason. So let me just say hello to everybody first of all. So we've got quite a few, I suppose, because of the Samantha Murphy case. There's quite a few of you watching or have been watching my videos from Australia and New Zealand, etc. And I know we're at odds sort of time-wise. It always sort of freaks my head out a bit, really, because not only time-wise we're at odds, but often it's completely different day. So it doesn't take much to confuse me. So anyway, hi Simon. And yes, I saw that Taylor Swift is in Melbourne. So yeah, that won't help either, will it? Oh dear. Hi Michelle. Michelle's watching from New Zealand. It's Monday morning there at the moment. Do you know, this is what I mean? I can't get my head around it. Hi David. It's not Monday morning in Scotland yet, is it? Hi Katrine. Hi Rio. I'm good, thank you. I hope you are as well. Hi Maggie. Oh, hi Susan. Hi Charlie. There's Michelle again. So it's morning there, is it, Michelle? So morning, right? Okay, but it's Monday morning. This is what I mean. Can't get my head around it. Hi Mello. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie says I'm looking lovely. Thank you very much. It's very kind. No, you can't please everyone. I've sort of given up really, but I do try, and obviously the people I want to please the most are my regular chatters and members, etc. And I hope that other people, some people come and go. I know that they come and go, and some people stay, whatever, even if I'm doing a subject that maybe they're not particularly interested in. It's not a question of, I don't want to be a sort of one-dimensional channel that just does the same thing over and over again like a lot of channels do. I want to, make my content interesting, not only for you all, but that's, you know, a big thing, but also for me, because, you know, there's no point in just churning things out that I don't find interesting. But anyway, but of course, I do need people to watch. I mean, it does help if people watch. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, Wendy loves the lives. Lots of people love the lives. Some people don't like the lives. They like the videos. So there you go. Hi, Amethyst. Wendy's going to watch on the big TV. She always makes me nervous when she says that. I think she knows that. Hi, Julie. Oh, it's staying lighter a little bit, Jackie? Yeah, well, we won't be that far off springtime, are we? We're not far off springtime now. Morning in Australia too. Okay. So Ballarat is 2 hours behind New Zealand, right? Okay. So 6 a.m. in Melbourne, Mariah's telling me. So it's early morning in Melbourne. See what today brings, Mariah, if it brings any news. The police haven't said anything. I think it's been about 4 days since the last time the police said anything, which, you know, I know they can't give all the details of the investigation, but still, that's quite a long time not to say anything, isn't it? Maybe it's deliberate, I don't know. Hi, Desi, glad you made it. Hi, Chumba. Chumba's eating dinner. Oh, Andy's gone off to, hi, Ali. Andy's gone off to repair the patio doors. Yeah, I saw that about the 3 children in Bristol. I know there's always bad news. The thing is, it's only the bad news that makes it to the headlines, isn't it? You know, it's rare for good news to get to the headlines. So anyway, so first thing I just want to tell you about is thank you to those of you who responded so nicely to that. Hi, Angela. Thank you to all of you who responded so nicely to the letter to Nicola Bulley. That's been something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. Like, you know, there's always been something coming up. And, you know, I just feel it's got to a point, you know, I've come off a lot of, you know, things that I was following, because it's just like going over the same thing over and over again, arguing about the timeline. Did this happen? Did that happen? No, but no, you know, there's no, it's just an exercise in futility, really, because it's just sort of talking things over. You can't keep talking the same things over and over again. Now, it's different if something actually comes to light that's different, or something with evidence, with proof, but not just like, well, did this happen or did that happen? And, you know, so that's what I've decided. When I said, and I want to just make it clear, I'm not saying that I'm not looking into Nicola Bulley anymore or stepping away from it completely. I'm not. But I'm, you know, I feel that unless something actually new comes up, it's not worth making a video, if you like, specifically, unless it is something important that's new that you don't know about and that I get to hear about, and I think that you'll be interested to know about, but not just the same thing over and over again. But then, you know, I thought, you know, we've talked before when I watched that awful Channel 5 documentary that was just like, you know, I know they can't put everything in, because you'd be here forever if you tried to put the whole shit show into a documentary because of all the different things. But they missed everything relevant out, really, you know, in my eyes. So I've been thinking about what would I think, because that documentary, do you remember? It did promise to answer unanswered questions. It didn't answer any unanswered question. In fact, if anything, it made more questions again. So it was total waste of time. Sorry, hello. Somebody said hello to Lulu, and I don't remember seeing someone called Lulu come in, but maybe there is. If I missed you, sorry, Lulu. Hi. So, yeah, so, you know, and I'd said at the time I'd quite like to do a documentary, but, you know, my video skills aren't brilliant. But having said that, I'm sort of getting my head around some things, and I can always get someone to help me with it. And then, so I thought, yeah, why not? Why not do a documentary? I mean, my God, I've got so much information. So the problem will be to sort of put it, condense it, if you like. Or of course, it's difficult to think. And I was thinking, what do I think is important to put in? What will I leave out? I can't put everything in. And so then I've thought about it a bit more since then, and I thought, well, they have these, they call them docuseries, don't they? So instead of trying to do one great big long documentary that might go on for bloody 5 hours, doing like a series. And that also means that I can get the episode 1 hopefully out by April. So I've got it in my mind about the episode 1, what I'm going to do already. So it's a little bit like writing a book, like what I've found with writing books. You do them bit by bit is better than trying to sit down and think, oh my God, this whole book, it's overfaced, and it's like with everything with life, isn't it? One step at a time. You can't do everything all at once, and you can get overwhelmed if you sit trying to do it like that. And I remember when I was at university doing my degree, that's what I did. I did, instead of doing a dissertation, I did a series of long essays, which you had the university I went to, you had a choice of either doing a dissertation or doing a series of long essays. And I did the long essays because they weren't as long as a dissertation, and I probably never would have finished the dissertation. But anyway, so that's what I'll be doing as far as Nicola Bulley is concerned. Now, where I want you to help me is anything, because all those, I'd like to know, I'd like you to, what's wrong with my little dog? Oh, she's looking for a ball. She's looking for a ball. She's lost a ball, and so she's getting up. Where is it? Where's your ball? Where is it? You think it's down the side of the sofa, so she's getting annoyed because she can't get it. Yeah, where I'd like you all to help, if any unanswered, what were the questions that you would have liked to have seen answered in that documentary? What were the main? Now, there are some things we can't answer because, of course, we're in this position that we're in with Nicola Bulley. Is the family are happy with the verdict, the coroner's verdict. So it's not like the family's looking for answers. It's got to be easier when the family themselves are looking for answers. It's got to be easier because you feel like they're on your side, you're doing it for them. It's quite difficult when the family are happy with the verdict, and because then then we haven't got access. We're not the police, so you haven't got access to interviewing people like the police have, or etc. So you're reliant on the information that's out there in the public domain. But of course, the information that's out there in the public domain is conflicting. So, for example, one thing that I would like to know that wasn't even addressed in that documentary, because they didn't even mention that Nicola had been to A&E, did they? I'd like to know who took her to A&E. I'd like to know why was that not, mentioned? Was that mentioned to the police when they found out she was a missing person, and they did treat her as a vulnerable missing person? Had they been told about the visit to the A&E, or when did that come up? These are things that I'd like to know. And also I'd like it to be made clear if Louise phoned or Paul phoned, because that's conflicted. So this is the sort of thing. So email me at Vicky Marie Chats, Vicky with an I, @gmail.com. Any particular question that you have, like, and I'm not promising that I'm going to use it, but it gives me an idea of what people's main wonderment is, if you like, over this case. That's right. So many unanswered questions. You could write a book on the unanswered questions, really. But what I'll do is probably pick the most common unanswered questions, and I'll answer as many as I can. But anyway, so that's the plan as far as Nicola Bulley is concerned, unless I mean, don't worry if anything came up, if anything, significant happened. Obviously, I will be back talking about Nicola. But for now, it may be April before that episode 1 is ready. If it's ready before then, I'll release it before then. But just to let you know. So, oh, thank you for the nice things you said about the poem. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, now it's interesting. Was interesting, wasn't it? That detective, Michelle was saying, that detective podcast. They were very interesting to listen to, weren't they? The father and son. I'm glad I found that podcast. Thank you, Chumba, for saying that it was thoughtful. So Charlie's having olives, ham on, and a glass of Pinot Grigio. So Charlie's fallen off the wagon after 6 weeks. I'm on the wagon. Not really on the wagon, but I'm trying to diet a little bit because I will be going on location as well quite soon. Not tomorrow, but I will be. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, just a little. Anyway, we'll see. I'll keep you informed if I manage to lose a few pounds. What is this dog doing? She's chasing a fly now. Okay. Yeah, Charlie, you did. Dissertation is very, for me, a dissertation would just be a nightmare because I'd leave it all. I'm last minute, VickyLastminute.com. I leave everything to the last minute, and you can't do that with a dissertation. That's why I chose to do the essays. Yeah. Oh, there you are, Lulu. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Heather. Okay, so let's have a look at what is not happening in the Samantha movie case. Well, I mean, it will be happening. I'm 100% certain that things are happening, but it's really, I just don't know why the police have gone so quiet. So I think it was Wednesday, the last time that they actually said anything. But so we have to rely, when the police go quiet, we have to rely on things like the Daily Mail, which is anyway annoying, but at least they're covering the case, I suppose. At least they're making comments about it. That's all you can say really about the Daily Mail. Now, so let's have a look at what they've been saying. So they've come, I don't know if I really like this, but they've come up with this story, the Daily Mail Australia. But I mean, I say they've come up with this story and I'm being a bit sniffy about it. But, people want information about Samantha because they care about Samantha. So I suppose they are at least responding to that. And they said, missing mum Samantha Murphy's childhood dream of being famous came true in the cruelest way possible. Now her family wants Australia to know the real woman behind the heartbreaking headlines. Now, we would like to know a bit more about Samantha, wouldn't we? Obviously, I think we can, from what we know already about Samantha, a lot of us can relate to her because she's a mum of 3 sort of older children, like they're not little children. She's married. She works for her and her husband have a business together. She liked going out jogging, walking on this trail. Apparently she had an interest in amateur dramatics and things. She seems to have been a very strong person, both physically and mentally. So it's been good that there's not been any, nobody's said, oh God, well, she was menopausal or she had drink problems. Her sort of mental state has not been called into question, which is a good thing. So what the Daily Mail have come up with, and I think they've interviewed her family, not her immediate family, but not her husband and her children, but her parent. They've been in touch with her sister, and they've been in touch with her parents, or they tried to get in touch with her parents. So she grew up in the little Victorian country town of Gordon, which of course I don't know, but some of you out there will know it, about 95 kilometres west of Melbourne's CBD. And she grew up with her sister and loving parents, John and Pam Robson. Oops. And so at the peak of its gold rush boom, it is interesting, the gold rush, I've sort of heard about that, but I've not lived that or know much about it, but it's a big part of Ballarat and this area is the influence of the gold rush boom. And then the town had as many as 8 hotels, banks, stores. However, this is where she was born, by the way, Gordon. This is according to the Daily Mail, so I don't know if this is true, but I'm presuming they know it's true. Today, the Publican, in its only remaining pub, pours beers for a die-hard bunch of locals. So Samantha was a child of the 70s and 80s, and she spent her time riding her bike through the lush forest, hanging out with her mates and riding horses, apparently. But like a lot of girls who grow up in the country, she had dreams of moving away and making something of her life. It's funny, isn't it? People who live in the country or in quiet places, they always dream of living in the city. And people who live in the city always dream of living in country places, quiet places. So she would go on to own many horses in her life, apparently, showing them, jumping them through the years. Her uncle, so this is her uncle I've been talking to, Alan Robson. He remembered Samantha as a young go-getter. They do talk about her a lot in the past tense. But anyway, never mind. I think maybe it's just unconscious. Who was driven to make a name for herself. Samantha was always going to be someone famous, he told Daily Mail Australia. But she couldn't have imagined the cruel way her childhood dreams would come true. This is really insensitive of the Daily Mail, isn't it, really? This is what I mean about the mainstream media. They whinge so much about social media, but we get a lot of our information from them, so they should be more responsible. But anyway, wearing black half-length leggings and a maroon-brown coloured singlet, the last image of her alive has been plastered over the internet and across TV screens over the past 2 weeks. The image was captured on February the 4th. That's 2 weeks ago now, at 7 a.m. from her home just off Eureka Street at Ballarat East on what turned out to be a stinking hot day. So she had told her husband Mick she was going for a short run and would be back by 9 a.m. but never returned. And weeks later, her disappearance continues to baffle. So Samantha's family this week, according to the Daily Mail, told them that they did not want people to forget who she was or what she meant to those who knew and loved her. Do you see what I mean? It's like she's already gone. It's like they've given up. I mean, I know it, as the days go by, it doesn't look very promising. But speaking in the past tense is something Samantha's family are reluctantly coming to terms with. It's still a little bit early for that. But anyway, Mr. Robson, who's aged in his 80s, still gets about on his tractor on a farm north of Ballarat, and he recalled Samantha pestering him for her first horse when she was just a little girl. She was horse mad, he said. She always wanted Uncle Alan to buy her a horse, and she was on to her dad all the time, Samantha's Aunt Janice recalled. She always wanted one. It wasn't long before her old man gave in, buying her a pony that she named Harmony. And Samantha's father, John, known among his mates as Pud, had been a hard-working truck driver who travelled the country alone to make sure his daughters had a good start at life. So her mother, Pam, came from Perth, where most of Miss Murphy's family on that side continues to reside. So Samantha's disappearance has gutted her parents. John went back to work. He said there's nothing he could do, Mrs. Robson said. Bearing in mind he's 80, her dad. So she comes from strong stock, she comes from people who, workers who are like used to, getting on with things. And I think if put in that position, we'd be that way ourselves. John Robson had spent most of his life behind the wheel of a truck and continues to work today, aged just shy of 80. He's supposed to be slowing down. Oops. Where is it? He's supposed to be slowing down. Oh, it keeps jumping this. Drives me mad when it jumps around. Where is it? He's supposed to be slowing down. He's quieting down to long distance local routes. The top of what is it? Driving a long distance? Goodness me, at 80 years old. So he's quieting down to long distance local routes, the top of New South Wales and that sort of stuff, his brother said. On Thursday, Samantha's sister asked the Daily Mail Australia not to speak to her parents and refused to make any comment herself. Samantha's husband has taken a similar stance to the media firestorm his wife's disappearance has caused. Mr. Murphy, he's refusing. Well, he made that short press release, didn't he, that we watched with his daughter, but since then he's not spoken to the press, and he's probably been advised not to be fair. So Mr. Murphy, with the help of Samantha, operates one of the largest panel beating shops in the region. We had a look in the last video, didn't we, at the website, etc. Employing more than 20 staff. Samantha had been described as the backbone of the operation, running the books and keeping Mick in line, according to the website. So this is where Samantha's parents live, in Gordon, among the gum trees, apparently. So those who knew Samantha claimed she certainly wore the pants in the marriage. She was the boss. Mr. Robson said Mick's different. He's quiet. He stays in the background. And he was the son of a truck driver as well. And she met him apparently as she grew up in Gordon. So his business grew big quick. It's the biggest panel beating shop in Ballarat, you'd imagine. Mr. Murphy had learnt his trade as a young man, toiling away at the very business he now owns. So I presume he worked there first and then he ended up buying it. And at the helm, Mr. Murphy and his wife were able to turn Inland Motor Bodyworks into a massive success, moving to larger premises just outside of Ballarat. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just continued to grow. Now, this was something, again, that I didn't know. The couple have endured their ups and downs, having struggled to conceive their first two children, which came after grueling IVF procedures. So, seems that, that suggests that their last child was conceived naturally. So, sometimes that happens, doesn't it, with couples? They have to go through the IVF and then in the end they conceive naturally. So through hard work, here's Riley now, he's just come down. Through hard work, the couple moved into the sprawling multi-million-dollar property they now own today. And Mr. Robson said that although Samantha had attended private schools growing up, her first job reflected a work ethic that she held to the day she vanished. She ended up shoveling dog excuse the French, but dog shit for a living, Mr. Robson said. It was the first job she ever had, shoveling dog crap at the dog kennels. Well, you can say she was an animal lover because she had her dogs, didn't you? And it's a shame. So let's hope that Samantha comes home soon. But anyway, let me put that window down. Just come back into chat. Make sure you're all okay. I hope I haven't missed anyone coming in to say hello. But hi Tina, hi Neil. Oh. I'm sorry, I'll just go down and make sure. I don't think I've missed one. I said hello to Neil. Right. If I've missed saying hello to you, just come back and say hello again, and I'll. Chumba, what did you have for dinner? You've just finished your dinner. What did you have? Was it salmon? Was it Chinese? It's always something nice. You and Charlie eat so well. Yeah. I think Michelle's saying that her sister lives in Ballarat. And she's not going out. I think until it's found what happened to Samantha, where she is, then yeah, I don't blame her, because, and also the police are not giving out much sort of reassurance or. Anyway, never mind. So Chumba had lamb chops, chips, and spaghetti. Oh, sounds absolutely lovely. Except I don't eat lamb. But okay, so let's have a look at the next one. But the chips and spaghetti sounds great. Yes, so this was another article again by the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail, they're trying the very best to, as Chumba says, sell their papers. But I suppose that's what they're there for. That's what they do. We can't really criticise them for doing what. That's their business, to sell papers, isn't it, or to get people to read their articles, etc. So you can't really blame them for that. So this other article, they're talking about inside the they always make it sound so dramatic. Inside the frantic hours after missing mum Samantha Murphy vanished, and the desperate call her husband Mick made to police, as her family reveal what he's really like. And they make it sound like you're going to get the details of the emergency call, which of course you're not. But anyway. So the family of missing mother of three, Samantha Murphy, have revealed how her husband tried to find her on the morning she went missing. So this again is Miss Murphy's uncle and aunt, Alan and Janice. They've obviously given a comprehensive interview to the Daily Mail, and they told Daily Mail Australia, and they'll probably release it bit by bit, won't they? So they told Daily Mail Australia that their niece's husband, Mick Murphy, made the call to police himself 2 hours after she failed to return home at 9 a.m. So bearing in mind, she'd gone out around 7. She'd said she would be back in an hour, I think is my impression, which would be 8. And she wasn't still home by 9. So I think that's when he rang. I'm not sure of the exact date because time, because again, the police have not confirmed it. 11. So she was reported missing at around 11 a.m. Mick reported her missing. He said that she was supposed to be back to go to some sort of meeting that morning. And that's, a mystery, isn't it? Because as I said, I think in the last video, some people are saying that it was this family brunch. Other people or other, websites and things are saying that she was meeting a man in Ballarat. This is what I mean, all these rumours. These are what the police, in my opinion, should come out and say, yes, she did have a family brunch that morning, or she did have a meeting. They don't have to say she had a meeting with a man, they just have to say she had a meeting, but they're not confirming or denying anything. Maybe it's because it's to do with the investigation. Anyway, she wasn't home, didn't go to the meeting. He rang up and reported it, and after that they started looking out the other side of Buninyong, which is 20 to 30 kilometres away. Now, if she said she was going, see, that's a contradiction in itself, because she said she was going for a 15-kilometre run, a shorter run than normal, because she had to be back. Now, if she's going for a 15-kilometre run, that's 7.5 kilometres one way and 7.5 back the other way. So why did they start looking over at the other side of Buninyong, 20 to 30 kilometres away? Anyway, Alan obtained the information directly from his brother, John Robson, who he maintains regular contact with. So here's Mick and Samantha in happier times before she was missing. With children must have been quite young there in the back of the car. So yeah. Here's that infamous picture of Mick coming out of the police station smiling, which, you know, the Daily Mail, who are always telling everybody not to speculate, they put this picture in every article that they do. You know, they keep putting the picture of him smiling. That is a casting an aspersion, because why do they keep showing it? So Mick apparently has shut the gate and locked reporters out. He's had a gut full of the reporters, which fair enough. So she was only going to run to, it's 10 kilometres now. So it's gone from 15 to 10. And she was going to be home by 9 a.m. She said she'd be back then to go to the meeting, something in Ballarat. It remains unclear if any of the Murphys' 3 children, whose ages range between the early teens to early 20s, were at the family home at the time their mum went missing. So Alan says, the young lad would have been home, he's only 12 or 13. So Miss Murphy's father phoned Alan and Janice just as they were about to sit down for dinner the night that she went missing. He said, Janice, Sam's gone, Samantha's gone missing. I said, what do you mean gone missing? She's gone missing, she went out. He didn't say she'd gone jogging, but he said she'd gone missing. She hasn't turned up, never came back. So Miss Murphy's father phoned him. So Alan said his niece routinely ran 20 kilometres on a weekend, but this time she planned to run a shorter distance so that she could attend her appointment. And we don't know what that appointment is. Police have confirmed Miss Murphy was meant to attend. Police have confirmed. Have the police confirmed she was meant to attend a brunch that morning? I don't think I've seen them confirm it, but maybe they did. She was going to be back by 9 a.m. because it was also stinking hot. So on Thursday, a woman who identified herself as Miss Murphy's sister refused to allow Daily Mail Australia to speak to her parents, who reside in Gordon, about 22 kilometres from their daughter's home. And here we are with the smiling Mick again. They're determined to show us how he was smiling. People don't just vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something. And of course, that is what he said at the press conference. Anyway, so this apparently is the rugged terrain where the police and community members have searched for Samantha. And this, of course, was, I'm not going to play that again. That was the impassioned plea from her daughter. Is there anything else new? So Janice said that Mr. Murphy, meaning Mick, let me read this out. So Alan said, Mick has shut the gate and locked reporters out. He's had a gutful of the reporters. He said he's never courted public attention, and Daily Mail Australia is not suggesting Mr. Murphy has anything to do with his wife's disappearance. Well, they are, really. Every time they show that picture of him smiling, they are. Janice said Mr. Murphy likely felt the media attention was an intrusion on his family's privacy. And then on the other hand, they've got to stop and think, nothing else is working. The more people talking about it, something might pop up. That's the paradox, isn't it? You don't want media attention. Of course, it'd be awful to, have your picture taken every time you come out your house, you know, trying to catch you with a smile on your face or whatever. But also, if you don't publicise, how are people, you know, if people don't talk about it, publicise it, how are leads going to come? So Mr. Murphy made his one and only public statement to the media on February the 8th in a press conference that was memorable for his daughter, Jessica's emotional words rather than his own. See, they say they're not saying it, but they like putting in these little digs, and it's true. Jessica was much more emotional than Mick was. But then, you know, she's a young girl and he's a guy. So we don't know anyway. So Mick had said, whether it be any little thing that you might think is relevant, just call the police and let them know. It will give us a bit of peace of mind, some hope. Janice said she'd been bombarded with theories and opinions about Mr. Murphy's behaviour in the weeks since he made that plea for help. And some of the theories Janice mentioned have been rolled out repeatedly in Facebook pages that claim to be helping police find Miss Murphy. You know, so then they're starting to be sniffing now again about their Facebook pages, as if they're not, you know, trying to cast aspersions. So he's saying that he's too easygoing, Mick, nothing would worry him. I remember someone else said that in their interview, how easygoing they were, too easygoing for their own good. So the pair said that Miss Murphy's father told them his daughter hadn't had any arguments with her husband leading up to her disappearance. It's the first thing I thought of when she vanished, that they might have had a blue. I presume that's Australian for argument or something. But John seemed to think not. He reckons there are no money worries or anything. He knows of no trouble at all. So Miss Murphy had maintained regular contact with her parents, regularly catching up with them on weekends when she wasn't working. And Alan and Janice insist someone sinister is responsible for Miss Murphy's disappearance. So Alan suggested, I reckon someone has been watching them since they bought that house because it's worth big money. It's a possibility, but there's been no ransom demands. So you know, so that if that's true, if it's to do with money, there would have been a ransom demand. Well, there's not been a ransom demand as we know. There may have been. Oh, it's saying there is not, with no demands for cash, and Miss Murphy's bank account's presumably untouched. It's a long shot. And Alan said if she was going to go off somewhere, she would have taken some money, wouldn't she? Alan said. They dismissed suggestions she may have staged her own disappearance. Yeah, I don't think she did that, but she would have needed to take something with her. The cars were still home. She would have got one of them. She just vanishes after leaving the front door. Just gone, just like that. And they reiterated that she would never have turned off her mobile phone, which police believe went dead in thick scrub some 20 kilometres from her home. That phone hasn't been switched off since she had the thing, and then all of a sudden it's switched off. So, yeah, a mobile phone pinged in the nearby suburb just before dark. And Alan claimed that the task of tracing the pings may have been made harder due to several phone towers in the area going offline. And he says that day half the repeaters were out of action. Everything was going through Buninyong. So this is a member of her family. Said as time drags on, the family are now coming to grips with the fact that maybe Ms. Murphy may not be found alive. She's not lying around anywhere hurt you'd be looking for a body. Well, thanks, Alan. You know, that's nice, isn't it? That's be very comforting to her children for you to say that, Uncle Alan. Anyway, never mind. So, now I've got a couple of videos to show you, just sort of updates. Oh, he is a bit rude, isn't he? Yeah, not, you know, I don't think it's very nice when your uncle's saying that. I mean, you'd want, in fact, you know, you've got to try and stay positive for the rest of the family, surely, even though it isn't. Hi, Tracy, even though it isn't really looking brilliant, I don't think you need your uncle to say that. Anyway, never mind. I'm sure the Daily Mail made it worth its while. Okay, so and hello to anybody watching at home. You know, I'll say hello to people that come into the chat. But I know a lot of you, I can see there's a lot more of you watching at home as well. So thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. Okay, so another update. So I've been trying to find what I can. As I say, you know, there's not loads of updates, but let's see. Oh, I've got so many windows open as usual, because I've got the windows open for what we're going to do after. Right, let's have a look at this video. So this is News Australia.
Today marks 2 weeks since Ballarat mother of 3, Samantha Murphy, left her home for a run and vanished without a trace. Just this week, Victoria's top cop described the case as suspicious. Let's bring in founder and investigator for the Missing Persons Network, Valentine Smith, right now in Melbourne. Val, good morning. Thank you for being with us. How crucial is speed at the start of investigations like this one?
Good morning, Alex. It's very crucial, and the reason being is because the moment Samantha, as reportedly, left home to go for that run, everything starts to be contaminated. The evidence or information evidence is immediately starts to be lost. Time is the criticality of time in these investigations is so important.
And Val, I know you're a retired detective, you've done a lot of this stuff before, and in my experience reporting on these sorts of investigations, police will be focusing on certain people without making it overly obvious that they are focusing on these certain people. Is that what would be going on behind the scenes right now?
Well, look, in any missing person...
So difficult, isn't it? Everyone's desperate for news. They're all so this is 9 News Australia. Everybody wants news about it. The Daily Mail, all the news channels, etc. All social media. You know, apart from her family, obviously, and the police. This silence is almost uncanny, I think. To go this long without saying anything. There's definitely, no, I keep saying it day and day. I'll probably still be saying it in another week, or I think there's definitely something going on behind the scenes. But I hope so, and I think so. And of course, so what these people are trying to do is, you know, they're trying to get some insight from people like this who's, you know, with the missing, or was with the missing person unit, etc. Just trying to get insights, just trying to get some idea, because they're trying to fill this gap. And this is what I'm saying about the police. You can't stop people talking about it. People are going to try and fill the gap. But if the police don't fill the gap, news outlets, you know, newspapers, etc., social media, they'll do it. Michelle, I hope you feel better soon. I hope you recover soon.
Any investigation, certainly this is when we're dealing with missing persons, there's what we need to understand is that the person themselves, we're dealing with it's like a homicide. It's a person's life, and we've got the person themselves, and we've got the family who are suffering an enormous amount of unimaginable grief. And so it's a highly critical investigation. So every part has to be pulled apart and analysed to its nth degree. And that means very sensitive and deep in interviews and in investigations, and going going very complex sort of involvement with.
I don't know about you, but I don't feel this guy was very prepared or whatever, because he's sort of losing the track of what he's saying. It sounds a bit like me on a live.
Family and friends and associates and neighbours and all sorts of people that are connected to this missing person in this case. And it gets very, very sensitive and involves very delicate sort of interviews with people and gets, very, very, very complex.
Yeah, we know, Detective, we're at home yesterday or a day before that for over an hour. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And it's important for the community to hold on to hope for a positive outcome, I suppose, because at the moment it's not looking positive. It's now been 2 weeks since she went missing.
Yes, but we've got to be sort of we've been looking at these sort of cases for many, many years through another organisation that I'm very, very strongly connected to, which is Footprints in the Wilderness. And we look at cases like this across the world, and there are examples of these that we see where people, for all sorts of reasons, these cases they're found, they are resolved, and because we've got to realise that the facts in this case as they are presented to us are that as presented to us by the police and through media releases, etc., that this Samantha reportedly left home and she was kitted up to go for a run. She was very experienced. She had the mobile phone and a smartphone, a smartwatch, and that's it. There appears to be no other evidence or presented to us that.
Yeah, he doesn't look very comfortable speaking. I mean, obviously, he's involved in this and he knows a lot about what he's talking about. Maybe he's a little bit nervous, being on the news like that. I don't know. But anyway, he has got some interesting things to say. It's just sometimes it takes him a while to get it out. But there you go. I'm a bit like that as well.
Suggests anything more than that.
Yeah, just disappear without a trace, it seems, Val. We've got to go. We've run out of time, Val, but thank you so much for being with us this morning, and well done on all the work you do with the Missing Persons Network. Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Ali.
There you go. So that was a little news thing that I found. But, it's quite hard to find anything different. It's quite hard to find anything different to talk about. Anyway, I've got another one here for you, another interview that we won't have seen before. And this is with a guy who is a psychologist, I think. Hang on, let me.
Her home to her distraught family. Back, Cassie Zervos reporting live. Thank you.
Oh, right, go back to the beginning. Right, let's see. Okay.
Weeks to the day since Ballarat mother Samantha Murphy went missing, police are still no closer to finding out what happened. Crime reporter Cassie Zervos is at police headquarters for us tonight. Hello, Cassie. You've spoken to Samantha's husband.
Well, Beck, it's a case that's captured the nation. 2 weeks ago, Samantha Murphy left her Ballarat home to go for a run, but never came back. Today, her husband was too upset to speak on camera, but told 7 News his family are doing the best they can under the circumstances. When asked if there was a message he'd like to get out to the community, Mr Murphy said, "Just that we want Sam home, please." Detectives from the Missing Persons Squad are leading this case. They work alongside the Homicide Squad and probe suspicious disappearances, but are working with very few clues, making this investigation a complicated and meticulous one.
Now, notice she did say that Mick, he didn't want to speak on camera, but he did speak to her. Let's just go back to what did she actually say he said? I've forgotten now.
Is at police headquarters for us tonight. Hello, Cassie. You've spoken to Samantha's husband.
Well, Beck, it's a case that's captured the nation.
Yeah, so she said you've spoken to Samantha's husband.
2 weeks ago, Samantha Murphy left her Ballarat home to go for a run, but never came back. Today, her husband was too upset to speak on camera, but told 7 News his family are doing the best they can under the circumstances. When asked if there was a message he'd like to get out to the community, Mr. Murphy said, "Just that we want Sam home, please." Detectives from the Missing Persons Squad are leading this case. They work alongside the Homicide Squad and probe suspicious disappearances, but are working with very few clues, making this investigation a complicated and meticulous one.
They would be looking at a different line of endeavour now, looking at telecommunications.
Yeah, so this guy's a forensic psychologist. I just missed his name there, hang on. Tim Watson Monroe is a forensic psychologist, so he's weighing in with what he thinks.
Looking at telecommunication, GPS positioning, social media, speaking with significant others in the community and the family.
Police are also calling on the public for help. Anyone with information, no matter how small that is urged to come forward. It could be the missing piece in finding Samantha and bringing her home to her distraught family. Beck.
Cassie Zervos reporting live. Thank you.
Yeah, so little, all you can find are these little nuggets, like, there's nothing, as I say, because there's nothing actually from the police. It's, I thought I had something else to show you. Yeah, now I want to show you this. This is off the Facebook page. Because, the first Facebook page, one Facebook page has been removed, but there still are other Facebook pages. So this helped find Samantha Murphy. This was interesting because the public are intending to go searching again on the 24th of February. And this ground crew, whoever they are, let's see what they say. So we appreciate there are many different opinions on what should and shouldn't be happening, but we remain steadfast in believing that searching for anything that can assist the authorities is worth pursuing. And I agree. I think, search. I would certainly be out there searching if that was my partner who'd gone missing in the bush. Whatever, whether the police had scaled down the search or not, I would still be searching. But anyway, furthermore, after researching other similar incidents, our group plans on keeping the forward momentum and enthusiasm going in our efforts to find answers. In other words, we don't want the search for Samantha to just fade away like so many others have. Surely it's not going to fade away. You can't. Because, the thing is, it can't. This story has gained traction not only in Australia but all over the world for whatever reason. It tends, sometimes these stories they do, depending on ethnic background and the background of the person who's missing, etc. Some stories gain traction and others don't, but this one has. Whatever the reasons and whether they're right or not, that probably lots of people don't get the same attention, this one has. So it's not going to just go away for that reason, surely, because there's more attention on. But anyway, volunteers are invited to participate in the search next Saturday. So any of you who are out there in the area, if you want to, Saturday, February the 24th, starting at 10 a.m. at Eureka Stockade Memorial Park. This group is specifically seeking individuals who are willing to offer their time and energy to assist in combing through designated areas. So this seems to be some sort of organisation called Ground Crew. We still, Tory Baxter, a volunteer there said we still need more volunteers to join us in this crucial search for Samantha. With safety first in mind, we plan on getting small groups to stick together and ensure they are adequately equipped to look after themselves and each other. So ground crew is also seeking support from local businesses that are able to donate fluorescent vests, whistles and other items whistles a good idea actually, isn't it? And when we've talked about safety, when you're out running or walking or whatever, a whistle is a good idea for to sort of attract attention, because sometimes if you saw somebody approaching you and you get whistle out, it could just make them run off, because they don't want attention, do they? So a whistle's a good idea. So another items that may assist their search efforts this coming Saturday. So that's next Saturday. Safety, gosh, surely it won't be another week and there'll still be no news. Safety is of the utmost importance, and all volunteers need to be equipped with the relevant safety gear necessary. So anybody who's interested in volunteering is encouraged to meet up on Saturday or can contact Ground Crew Samantha Murphy on Facebook. Yeah, so Ground Crew is a volunteer-based community search group dedicated to assisting in locating Samantha Murphy in the Ballarat area. And this is the event. Let's have a look. So that's starting off at 10 a.m. 25 people have responded. So, well, that's good. It's good that people are, people want to help, don't they? They really, really do want to help, I think. But it's good for them to search in small groups, 2, 3 people. Needs to be probably 3 people, doesn't it? Because if anything happened, then you'd need, say one of you tripped over, or need one of you to stay with that person while the other one went for help or whatever. So maybe even 5 people would be. Anyway, I'm sure they know. I'm sure they've done searches before. Okay, let me see. That might be all I've got to tell you now about Samantha. And I'm going to talk to you. Let me just put some windows down. I'm going to talk to you again about Rachel Morin. So I did find some information about Rachel. Which is good. Just put my windows down. God, I end up with, I don't know where these windows come from. I'm sure I don't put them up there. Okay, so that's all we know so far, or that's all the latest that I could find anyway, about Samantha. Maybe tomorrow is always another day. Maybe there'll be more news tomorrow. Maybe the police will finally come out and say something more. We've had no official news, but that basically concludes that. So what I'm going to talk about now is some updates on Rachel Morin. So for those of you who don't know, if you watch my channel regularly, you will know. Rachel Morin was another woman who went missing on a nature trail, this time in Maryland, the Morin Trail. And Rachel, unfortunately, was found unalived, brutally unalived. And since then, this was in August last year, so since then the search is on for her killer. And originally we thought it was going to be easy, because it turned out that there was DNA left at the scene that matched up. Yes, we're going to see my sheriff. Rio. We're going to see my sheriff talking. There was DNA found at the scene that matched up with what they're referring to as a home invasion in Los Angeles. But the more you hear about it, the more you hear that whatever happened in Los Angeles, it was a lot more serious than we were initially led to believe. So it was a multiple assault. And you'll see in a moment when my sheriff, is talking, he's saying that they strongly believe that if the person hadn't been interrupted, it would have ended up the same way as it ended up for Rachel. So this is how dangerous this man is. And surely that won't only be the only two incidences. You know, who knows? I mean, they haven't got any DNA. They haven't matched him up to any other cases by DNA. But, you know, this guy, I just cannot believe he's still at large. But let's have a look. So we're going to look first at just what a couple of, this is not, they're talking about the sheriff's interview, but the actual sheriff's not on this one. They've just got a panel saying that they, you know, maybe this guy does not have a paper trail. And of course, there's a lot of, because he's Hispanic descent, you'll find that Geraldo on here is saying, no, it might be an immigrant, an illegal immigrant, and it might be, but it might not be as well. So I'm always, you know, I don't know about that until we know, because it's not always illegal immigrants that commit horrific crimes. So I don't really like that sort of immigrant bashing until we know for sure. Maybe he is someone who's in the country illegally. Maybe he's left the country by now. Maybe he's being hidden by his family. Surely he can't be completely off the grid. But anyway, let's have a look. Oh, hang on. I've got to link it. I nearly forgot. Let me just, I've got to link it up first. Okay. So Rachel was another mother of 5 children. Her family have been blasted apart because all her children have had to go to live with their particular father, and so they're not together anymore.
Investigation this week, the Harford County Sheriff's Department finally releasing sketches of the person they believe is her killer. More than 6 months after the murder of the mother of 5 was found dead, she was murdered on a popular hiking trail. Now remember, they already had video showing the suspect leaving a different crime scene in Los Angeles, where he's accused of assaulting a young girl during a home invasion, but you never see his face.
So we saw this back in August. We saw this guy coming out, didn't we? We noticed you could see the arm of whoever was closing the door behind him. But it's all been very sort of secretive. And I think this is part of the, well, we'll hear what Jeff has to say. Part of the problem here is the fact that this crime, if you like, or there's 2 crimes in 2 different states, and they have to match up, you know, get permission from each other to match things up. It's caused a problem, I think. This guy travels a lot. And, you know, I don't know if you remember, but ages ago, I must fish it out, actually, the video. We were doing some tarot cards, and we did tarot cards about this case. And there was a thing of traveling. So whether he is a long-distance lorry driver or whether he, you know, some people have suggested he might be in the military. I don't think he can be in the military because I think somebody would have recognised him surely by now. But anyway, but something about travelling, about moving long distances came up in the tarot card, and I remember it from August last year, and before we knew about the Los Angeles thing.
In that video, they were able to link the scenes using DNA found at both in Maryland and in Los Angeles, totally different parts of the country. And the red hat apparently is key. Police saying DNA evidence they found.
See, that red hat, he left it at the scene. So you can see as he comes out, he hasn't got a cap on, but he left a red cap at the scene, and that's where the DNA's come from that's been matched up to Rachel.
And used to track down the potential suspect came from the red hat. Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gawler explained.
This composite is not only what we believe the suspect looks like, but also that hat. That hat is the red Michael Jordan Air Jordan hat with the very flat brim, the stickers on it, is the hat that was recovered.
If you notice, Jeff's got quite a few hats behind him here, a few mugs and a few hats. Bless him. Perhaps he'll want a Vicky Marie Chats mug. Perhaps I should send him one. Vicky Marie and a cup of tea, Jeff.
From Los Angeles. It's one of the items where the DNA was pulled from that led us to the match.
Rachel was reported missing by her boyfriend on August 5th after she set off for a hike at around 6 that evening and never returned. Officers found her car at the trailhead the next day, and hours later, a volunteer searcher found her body. Rachel's mother, Patty, spoke with me earlier this week about this new development.
I'm actually...
So poor mum, I mean, imagine, so, you know, they must have felt so sort of excited, if you like, that when the DNA match was made, you would think, really, wouldn't you, this guy's going to be caught quickly. You know, that's what we thought. So as a parent, and although it doesn't bring your daughter back, your prime concern would be that this twonk is not going to get away with this, you know. And it must have felt encouraging when the DNA match was revealed. And then all this time later, still not been resolved. It must be awful.
Happy that we finally have a sketch and we have a face that we can look for. Having just the back of somebody's head, unless you're a mother and you know your child, or it's your best friend or your husband, it's hard to know who that person is. So having a sketch of the person's face, I just feel like the whole world's going to be looking for this man.
Let's hope so. Back with my panel. Geraldo Rivera, you have a theory about this case.
I do. Why is there no person attached to the DNA that has been found and linked between the two crime scenes? I submit that it is likely, at least to me, that this is an undocumented immigrant, an illegal alien who is not anywhere in the U.S. data bank. There's no name attached to him. He's never been arrested in the United States. It's clear, otherwise he would have popped right up. He is.
It's funny, isn't it? He looks so.
I submit.
He looks younger than I thought he was from the back and side. You know. Also, somebody else made a comment that they think he looks slimmer. You know, doesn't look, because he's. You know, you can see from the back he's like a broad guy. You know, he's a big, strong guy. You wouldn't stand a chance as a sort of 5'2", you know, woman like Rachel. You wouldn't stand a chance against his. You know, he's a big guy, muscly guy. That doesn't come over on here, does it? He almost looks, but they have agreed, and Jeff will tell us later, the reason, because we've been talking about why hasn't they released a photo fit? Well, apparently the reason is that they've released, you know, they've made loads of photo fits, but trying to get everybody that's been a witness, because there's quite a few witnesses from Los Angeles and quite a few witnesses from Maryland that had seen this guy on the trail, etc., to get them all to agree on one photo fit, because they didn't want to put anything out there that then the people in Los Angeles were going to say, oh no, that didn't look like him, or the people in Maryland were going to say, oh no, we didn't think that looked like him. So it's taken all this time to come to an agreement amongst all the various witnesses and etc. that they've got, that this is an accurate photo fit.
Likely an undocumented person whose identity is unknown because he's one of millions now in the country without authorization and without any kind of paper trail, so to speak.
That is, Jesse, if he's still in the country, right? I mean, that's going to be a big thing. Now,
see how broad he is. I don't think that comes over in that photo fit, but they've all agreed, all the witnesses have agreed now that that is how he looks. But now and then, of course, we know how he looks from the back. So surely with the photo fit now of his face, which looks, pretty lifelike, his body shape, etc. Surely, I mean, I know he will have changed his looks by now. He's probably got a beard. He could have put a pair of glasses on, grown his hair, done whatever, or shaved his head. He will have changed his appearance, I'm sure. But somebody knows who this guy is. Somebody somewhere knows exactly who he is and knows exactly where he is.
Sheriff also released what they viewed as another key detail, that they believe that the killer was in Maryland for a few days before the murder, suggesting that they have evidence that he was spotted, etc.
Yeah, so this was interesting as well. So they think now, just saying that they think he was in Maryland a few days before. So he just, they've got some proof. They've probably got CCTV or witnesses seeing him that he had been there for a few days. So he went to Maryland for a reason. I think he went to Maryland to escape what he'd done in Los Angeles, but he must know someone in Maryland for him to go there. He's not going to surely he's just not going to pick Maryland off a map, like, oh, well, where will I go? I'll go to Maryland. I mean, it is more or less the furthest away part of the country that you could probably go to. But, people tend to go where they know, or at least if they know someone, not just, turn up somewhere. So he knew someone in Maryland. He went there for a reason.
Does that change anything?
Look, I think this is a great development. I'm cautiously optimistic because this sketch would have been great 6 months ago. You look at the photo, maybe someone will be like, oh, I remember that guy, but doesn't have those kind of distinguishing characteristics. He may look entirely different now than he did. And as much as they talk about the red hat, does he still have it? I mean, is he wearing it at other places? It's a great.
See, it's stupid what he's saying there, because no, he hasn't still got it, because that's the whole point. He left it at the place. So I think he's missed the point there a bit. No, he doesn't still have that red hat. He won't be wearing that particular one, because that's what the police have got in their possession, which is how they know about the DNA matching. So no, we won't be still wearing the red hat, or not that one. I'm sure he's picked up a different one by now. But he's right, he hasn't got, like, his ears are a little bit sticky outy, aren't they? But really, he is not necessarily someone you would notice, apart from his ears sticking out, which of course he might have covered up by his hair with his hair by now. He's not particularly distinctive. He hasn't got particularly big nose or a small nose, or he's got quite a face that you sort of wouldn't notice. But his ears are a little bit sticky outy, but nothing spectacular.
Great thing. But at the same time, it would have been more useful 6 months ago. Maybe it'll strike somebody's memory and say, I remember seeing somebody with that exact description in Maryland. But again, I'm cautiously.
And this is interesting because the sheriff talked about why it took them so long, right? This is number one.
We've had other composites, and we've had questions about that people heard there was composite done. But when it was shown to witnesses, again, people here, people there in Los Angeles, people here in Harford County, they didn't feel that it was an accurate representation. So we weren't going to push something out that even our witnesses don't, just because we have one, that they don't have a high level of confidence.
Misty, the families have been frustrated. I'm sure law enforcement's frustrated as well. But 6 months later, finally getting a sketch.
Yeah, finally getting the sketch. And I mean, they don't want to get this wrong. It sounds like they waited until they had what they could create the most accurate sketch. It's difficult, Dan, when you have these crimes in different jurisdictions to bring that together. But now there's the sketch. There's also a reward attached. So to the extent that somebody's seen this individual, they could be incentivized to come forward. And don't forget electronic footprint. Now this sketch is out there. Could he have been?
Yeah, now the reward is now $35,000. So it's gone, it was 10, then it became 20, then it was 30, now it's $35,000. That's a lot of money for someone. So there'll be somebody out there who knows exactly who this person is, who won't want to, grass on them, but will be thinking, oh, $35,000.
Been caught on some form of CCTV? Could there be video?
And of course, the other problem is, if there is somebody out there who knows who this guy is, and maybe the person who knows who he is illegally in America as well, doesn't want to put their head up above the parapet because they'll feel like then they'll get deported, so that's a reason as well, even though they might be really want to dob him in, want to tell on him, but they'd be worried about the repercussions for them if they also are in America illegally. So there's all those sort of things to take into consideration.
Footage that somebody is in possession of that could now be sent to law enforcement. It's certainly a step in the right direction.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
Okay, so that's that. Now now we're going to watch the actual full interview with my sheriff. Which I don't know how I missed it being when it was on a couple of days ago. And I have notifications from News Nation, but anyway, it didn't come up. As we know, notifications don't always come up when we want them to. Okay, so this is the full interview now with Jeff on News.
Sheriff Jeff Gaylor, whose department in Maryland released those new sketches. Sheriff, so great to talk to you again. At this point in the investigation, it's now been months since her body was discovered. Why these new sketches now?
Well, last week, sadly,
Sorry, I just want to say that the lady, the reporter, she is undergoing chemotherapy at the moment. That's why her head's shaved.
The 6-month anniversary since Rachel's homicide, and investigators we're still following the leads, but obviously over the course of 6 months, the leads have slowed down. So investigators are working back through every lead, every piece of information, every investigative lead that we can to date. And one of the things are what is it that we've kind of held close to our vest for investigative purposes that maybe we can put out there. We released a couple additional pieces of information related to it, but the big thing was the composite. And from early on, people asked us about why there wasn't a composite. Several have been worked on, but at no point in time did we have one where the people who were involved in the incident in Los Angeles 6 months earlier and the people, witnesses that we have here in Harford County who saw a suspicious subject in the days and hours leading up to Rachel's death along the hiking trail, all look at the sketch that we have completed now and say that it is a very good rendering, a accurate rendering of our suspect. So obviously that's the best piece that we've had to push forward since the video.
Yeah, imagine it taking all that time to get them all to agree, on what it looks like. I suppose it's difficult because of the, trying to, because I think there's quite a lot of witnesses. So the family from the home invasion, also there's quite a lot of witnesses from the park. Then there'll be other people that they've spoken to who, I think they do know who this guy is personally, just they don't know where he is. So they're trying to, I think they've spoken to people who may even be related to him or friends of his or whatever. I think they do know who he is. But the problem is finding him, isn't it? So he's under the radar somewhere. But see, I like, this is what I like about Jeff. He just says, he just always sounds so calm and reassuring, and he just says what he can say, and when he can't say something, he just says, "Oh, I can't talk about that." It's so refreshing. Just this is how the police should be, in my eyes.
A lot of people have asked why we don't release the video of him coming into the house and showing the front view. It's because there is not one that we have. So this sketch hopefully will be the trigger we need, and that hat I think is key That is the Air Jordan hat that he had on in Los Angeles in March of last year when he committed the home invasion there and the violence there. And it was recovered and the DNA was pulled from it.
You know, and Sheriff, I do want to talk about that video of that assault in California. If we can roll that, because we have these new sketches that your department has released. We know the suspect is linked to a sexual assault in California, but let's take a look at this video. So we see this suspect leave the house. The door was open for a moment, and then it closes. Have investigators in California been able to provide any new information?
And our investigators have been working closely with the investigators out there in Los Angeles. I have to be clear that is their crime. It's an active investigation. And I don't believe anywhere in any of the releases so far that it's been classified as anything other than assault. So, you know, a lot of people are asking what.
Yeah, they're very, and it's not him because in Los Angeles, as he was saying, they've been very wary of how they've classified this crime. He's saying I couldn't see it could be called anything but assault. But gosh, it's so mysterious, isn't it? You know, you want to know what exactly happened.
Was there a sexual assault? I know we haven't released any information one way or the other here in Harford County, and I don't believe they have either. But there was an assault within that residence of multiple people by that individual,
of multiple people. So it says there was an assault in that residence of multiple people. And this twonk walks out like, you know, he's got like, you know, all the time in the world. And why has he not got his shirt on? What was he just about to do? You know, it's, oh my God, please, God, let this guy be caught, because it's scary to think he's wandering around. Nobody knows where he is.
There were several people in that house at the time of the assault. And again, with the composite, although you don't get a good look at him coming out the door, those witnesses have looked at the image we've released and said it is an accurate portrayal of the person who committed the home invasion there.
You know, and people certainly are innocent until proven guilty, but many times when a woman is murdered, you know, immediately fingers point at a boyfriend, a husband, a loved one. We know that her boyfriend does have some criminal history. Has Rachel's boyfriend been full?
No, she's asking him here now. You'll see, like, has his boyfriend, her boyfriend, been included? Because when this initially happened, there was a few different suspects. There was Michael, who Charlie mentioned before, who his daughter or his stepdaughter actually found Rachel's body in the tunnel. We're going to see the tunnel in a moment. And so he was like thought of as suspicious because how did he know? He said he just had a feeling that she would be in one of the tunnels. There's two tunnels close together. This Michael, he went into one, sent his stepdaughter into the other, and his stepdaughter found the body, the very brutalized body of Rachel. Also under suspicion at the time was Rachel's boyfriend. You know, she had a boyfriend. He has had some history of domestic violence, not with Rachel, but with drugs and violence from earlier in his life. And he was very public about it and said, look, you know, I've completely changed. He was, you know, been to rehab, he was drug free, etc. So he had to come out and defend himself for a while until this DNA came out. And then this DNA, you know, breakthrough that we thought was going to lead to, you know, an almost instant arrest of this twonk. When that came out, that virtually, you know, more or less ruled out the boyfriend, and Jeff's going to tell us about that now.
Fully cleared.
Well, I've said investigators are not focused on him. That this DNA ties that subject directly to Rachel's homicide. That's who we're looking for. That he was involved in her death. Will we ever know, without apprehending him, if others were involved? I don't want to say anyone is excluded completely until we have that individual in custody. And we've had.
See how he always knows the right thing to say, because he's saying it's true. You know, he doesn't want to exclude anybody because he can't exclude anybody yet until they get the individual, they get the confession or whatever. But he goes on to say, but as far as they're concerned, you know, as far as they know at the moment, the boyfriend cannot be. He's not involved, so he always just says the right thing.
Had an opportunity to talk to him, and he faces a criminal justice system But again, her boyfriend, has cooperated fully with this investigation. Has given stories that have been verified. So again, I wouldn't list him as even a potential suspect at this time. But I'm not willing to say anybody on this planet didn't contribute to this until we have him in custody.
Yeah, and I want to just reiterate what you just said, that the boyfriend has fully cooperated. Sheriff, I know you have said you believe this culprit could be a serial killer. You said that in the past. Do you still think that could be a reality?
Sure, and again, we're not free to talk about what happened in Los Angeles, but I do think had he had more opportunity there, it would have been a worse crime scene there, similar to what we are investigating in Rachel's case.
God, just hearing him say that makes you go cold. So he's saying, we can't discuss what happened, but I feel that if he had been left, to carry on, it would have been just a much worse crime scene, similar to what had happened to Rachel. So, my God, that was so. Gradually he's letting out little nuggets of things, but that's not his investigation, I suppose.
And no people, no individuals here, there, or anywhere deserve their life to be ended in such a way. Rachel was a young mom, 5 children, mom, sister, brother, still, and looking for answers, looking for this person. I have no doubt in my mind. I've been doing this 40 years. If this guy is not caught, he will do it again.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
There you go. So I have no doubt in my mind, he says, if this guy is not caught, he will do it again. He is a predator. So whatever happened in Los Angeles, it was a lot more serious than we even know, wasn't it? So, okay, now I'm going to show you something which is a little bit, well, it's very, very sad. So I just want to warn you about that. Because we're going to look at a video of the tunnel where Rachel was found. And it's not only sad because it's, just horrible to think this is how somebody how their life ends, thanks to that guy. But also her brother is in this tunnel talking about what he thinks, about what her last moments have been like. So I just want to warn you now, it is a little bit harrowing, so be aware of it, please. If you're sensitive, you probably shouldn't watch it. So I want to give credit to the YouTube channel, which is called Storyteller, but I couldn't find a way to contact them. It's just a very short video. I'm not sure how they came to get this video or whatever, but anyway, it gives an insight into what happened to Rachel. I mean, it's just awful to think that she ended up. So this is the tunnel that the twonk, he dragged her off he'll have attacked her, laid in wait for her, dragged her off the trail, took her into this tunnel, and that's where he did whatever he did, which was, raped her, and also battered her to death with a rock or something. And apparently it was a very, very traumatic crime scene. And that Michael, who was talked about, I remember him making the comment, she won't be having an open coffin, let's put it that way, which is a bit of a tactless comment. But anyway, so yeah, just to warn you, it's a bit harrowing.
In this tunnel, kind of looks like a sewer.
So this is one of Rachel's brothers.
I think about her laying here, and I wonder if she was half awake, looking at the light and just saying, I just got to make it to that light. She thinking about her kid.
Oh God, it's just it's so sad. But it's this tunnel thing. If you believe in sort of near-death experiences and the tunnel. I've said in another video, my mum, when she nearly died, she literally had this experience, and she was the least kind of person that believed in anything like that. Now, I just want to say that Rachel's family, and I presume Rachel herself then, mum particularly, they're very religious, so they believe in the life after death, etc. And I expect their faith is what's keeping them going at the moment. Just want this twonk to be caught so that they can rest in peace knowing that he's not out there doing it to somebody else. Because men like that, they don't ever stop, you know, and Jeff said that, and he knows. He's, you know, when someone's a psychopath who does things like that, he's not going to stop. You can't switch that off in your head. I'm surprised there's not more cases, to be honest, that are linked to him.
Is she thinking about me?
Oh.
Did she feel hopeless here?
Oh.
Think about warm, you know, feeling warm under her head, and then making the connection. That's blood. It's dark. Did you feel alone? It's not. Think about like what she looked like, you know, beaten or whatever. It's like still pretty. I don't care how dirty, how scary, you know, how she felt. I wish I could feel it for her. And I won't look away. That's kind of why I'm spending so much time in these tunnels, this tunnel specifically.
So yeah, that's quite, that's very emotional, isn't it? Very emotional. Hi, Mello. Actually, I think, oh no, there's new, hi, Simon. Hi, Annie. Hi, Julie Dawn. But yeah, what a very sad place. That's right, you know, so I hope, you know, just that twonk's face looking down at you, great, that's your last sight. But anyway, I'm not sure why her brother went there, or maybe get some comfort for being where she was, you know, last, if you like, and what she felt last. You obviously get some sort of comfort from it, but it's very sad, very sad. Okay, so I think that's what I've got to show you about Rachel. Hello, Riley. Hello, Riley. Gonna give me a little cuddle. I need a cuddle after watching that. I do. I need a cuddle after watching that. It was very sad. It was very sad. Okay, so we need something a bit lighter now, don't we? After watching that, which was quite sort of traumatic, we need something a bit lighter. So something that I just want to finish on, that I saw today on X or Twitter. I can't get used to calling it X. Now, do you remember, some of you, come on, oh, Riley, go give me a cuddle. Oh. Yeah, give me a cuddle. The dogs always make you feel better, don't they? They give you a cuddle and then you feel better. So what I want to look at now, just something a bit lighter just to make you laugh. Do you remember, those of you who are of a certain age, you'll remember Sasquatch, you know, and all the talk about the Yeti or the Sasquatch. Do you remember? So anyway, there's been a video come out of the Sasquatch from years ago that was supposedly seen, and it's been stabilized. So it just makes me laugh because this is the original Bigfoot. You remember this video? And people believe it's not a man. No, it's not a man dressed up in a suit. Obviously not. But people really believe that maybe this was like a Yeti or the missing. Oh dear me! When you look at it now, it's just like what? Or do you believe it? Do you believe in Sasquatch? But I remember. I mean, I don't remember how old I was. I was only young, I think. It was hilarious, really. Now looking at it, but everybody did think it then. Don't forget, we're going back, a lot of years, and people believed it. People really did believe it. It looks like a man walking in the street, but the face just looks like a man. So I know, but you remember it? It just looks silly now. And then when you go down and look at, I found some other videos then, of course, like you do.
A large dark figure can be seen running between.
So on this video, as this is what you do, I suppose, in America. You take your kids out hunting, shooting, or Kentucky Bigfoot. So apparently, if you watch this video, at some point you see a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, as they call them, running along here and go down on all fours, they say. But anyway, you tell me what you think.
In the trees in the background before dropping to all fours. The video was posted to YouTube in 2011, and according to Mega Frightful, the family didn't initially notice the figure and had thought the helicopter was watching them. But instead, perhaps it was actually hunting the assumed Bigfoot. So what are your thoughts on this video? As always, we love to hear from you. Drop us a comment below, and if you enjoy our Bigfoot content, be sure to share and follow and find us on YouTube.
There really is a Kentucky Bigfoot organisation. So what do? They just go out looking for Bigfoot.
And Facebook for more.
Okay. Targets. Okay. Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Close. Try.
Got it.
You gonna try the shotgun? Whoa. Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock? Okay. Let's see, did you get anything? Ooh. Whoa. Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock? Okay.
It's a Sasquatch.
Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock?
Did you hear the helicopter? I think there must have been a manhunt going on. I reckon that helicopter was looking for this guy. He's probably that Daniel Cavalcanti that when we were following him when he was on the run. Now, I think it's important to remember that years ago, when that other Sasquatch thing came out, it was a big thing that people were talking about. It's like sort of died down now. Nobody talks about it, but it was all over the news. It was everybody. It was a massive thing.
Okay.
Let's watch one more.
Targets. Okay. Oh, nice. Close. Try.
Got it.
You gonna try the shotgun?
Yeah, do you reckon that helicopter, it's a manhunt, and then this man, it's just some guy runs across, but they're saying it's a Bigfoot.
Whoa. Whoa, that was a big kick.
No wonder he ran, because he had the bloody gun going off, that's why.
You okay, Brock? You okay? Let's see, did you get anything? Ooh. Whoa. Whoa, that was a big kick. You okay, Brock? You okay? Whoa!
Anyway, I just thought it was quite
funny. You okay, Brock?
Hi, Rachel. Dear me. Okay, now then, let's see if there's, just have a look, see if there's any more Bigfoot. Oh, that's that. Let's have a look. Oh, there was another one. Oh, this guy.
Near where I live, called Bear.
Now he's looking for something else. He was out doing some, let's have a look. What was he out doing? He was using his drones looking for bears during bear season, and he records a Bigfoot, according to this. So let's see.
What the world?
Look.
What is that? Oh, that's incredible. What? No way. Are you serious? What? What is that?
That's got to be a guy in a suit again, surely. God.
What the world?
Oh God, it's. Are we going to see it again? You know, because there's a part of me that really wants to believe in these kind of things. I think it's a throwback to when I was a kid and everybody was talking about it. And it was just so exciting to think there might be a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. And of course, in today's day and age, sort of, we don't know it, don't see it again. So yeah, this part of me wants to believe it, wants to think there's, hi Matthew, wants to think there's a Bigfoot somewhere. Hi Caroline. Oh. So I can see there's still quite a lot of you on there, but I've sort of what I was so I've told you about the Nicola Bulley docuseries I'm going to be doing. We've talked about the lack of information in the Samantha Murphy case, and I do feel with Rachel Morin, after we've watched about the Rachel Morin case, feels like maybe surely somebody's going to recognise that twonk and give him up, finally give him up. But okay, so that's it. That's all for tonight. Thank you. So many of you were here. Thank you so much. So we'll be praying for Samantha's safe return. Still praying for it. It's every day that passes, it seems more unlikely, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And then the other missing girl, the other missing woman in Madrid, of course, that I did an update on today. She's another one, another missing person that doesn't look too promising, but you just never know. So, but anyway, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. You know, and I hope you found it interesting and a little bit about Sasquatch at the end. Yeah. I sort of part of me wants to believe in Sasquatch. It's like wanting to believe in Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy and all that sort of thing. But thank you. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you very soon, as always, in the next video. But remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Also, when you go out in the woods, not only you've got to worry about psychopaths attacking you, there might be a Sasquatch in there as well. Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're all so sweet. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you soon in the next video. And until then, may your God always go with you. Thank you. Night, night.